Oh, Travis, he's really a good man and always a good listener. He always brings peace of mind and earns the sweet affection and even better, the love of his family. You know, the bond between our two families doesn't come from lavish parties or dazzling red carpets. It comes from the little things. It comes from me sitting on the Kelce sofa with Donna watching an old movie, and then we arguing about the plot as if it were a matter of life and death. Or when Jason and his wife Kylie tell me stories about Travis when he was little, his mischievous antics that make me laugh uncontrollably. That's when I realize I don't have to act Taylor Swift anymore. There, I'm just Taylor, the girl who's in love and being loved by a warm family. I chuckled softly, a gentle laugh like an autumn breeze. The intersection between the Swift and Kelce families. You know, my dad, Scott, he's always been quite reserved about guys getting close to his daughter. But when he met Ed, Travis's dad, I felt an absolute sense of security. They were two men with the same mindset. They just wanted to see their children happy. They could sit on the porch, have a little wine, and talk about the ordinary things, about the weather, about old cars, about life back home. In those moments, many people pictured a grand event in their heads, with thousands of guests, wedding dress designs featured in Vogue, or A-list celebrities. But what was the reality? Travis and I spent hours, sometimes all night, discussing what we truly wanted. I used to dream of big stages, of spectacular performances. But when I thought about the day we officially became a couple, I saw a different picture. I wanted a pristine morning, somewhere where only birds could be heard and waves crashing against the cliffs. I wanted a long party, where the food was cooked using my grandmother's and Donna's mother's recipes. I wanted our closest friends from high school, the ones who still called me Tay and not some fancy nickname, to raise a glass to us. We planned for the ceremony to be like a real family picnic, where everyone could take off their high heels or restrictive suits and run barefoot on the grass or dance under the sunset. Someone asked me if I was afraid of boredom giving up the spotlight for such a simple wedding. I just laughed, because for so many years, I've lived in the spotlight to the point where I sometimes forget who I am without the spotlight. With Travis, I found my freedom again. He taught me how to enjoy eating a burger after a game, how to laugh out loud without having to check if any cameras are pointed at me. Our wedding won't have any breaking news on TV or sensational headlines. It will be about heartfelt vows, about holding hands tightly while the world outside is spinning. It's about me officially entering the Kelce family, not as a celebrity, but as a daughter and a wife. We want to build a home where fame is just something left outside the door. Inside, it's a promise that no matter how the world changes, no matter how busy my or Travis's work gets, we'll still have a safe zone, a place where I can be myself, and where our two families are one. That's the most perfect wedding plan I could think of. An ordinary day in an extraordinary life we're building together. Jason and Kylie, they're not just my boyfriend's siblings. They're a reflection of a kind of love I've written about in my songs, but never truly experienced in real life. It's a love that doesn't need the spotlight, doesn't need the applause of the crowd. When you visit Jason and Kylie's house, the first thing you notice isn't the expensive furniture, but the noise, the children's running footsteps, the dogs barking, Jason's laughter echoing through the kitchen as he tinkers with something. And Kylie, she's the anchor of it all. I've watched her, how she manages everything with an extraordinary calmness. Kylie has an effortless beauty, a genuineness that makes anyone standing beside her feel completely accepted. And Keely taught me that happiness isn't something far away. It's about preparing dinner together, accepting each other's flaws, and most importantly, protecting our private space from the world's scrutiny. Balance. If you ask me what I admire most about them, it's their balance. Jason and Kylie have created an oasis, a place where no matter what the media says about Travis, about me, or about their family, within those four walls, everything remains stable. They are proof that in a turbulent world, you can still choose a peaceful life if you have the courage to protect it. Landia, it felt like I had just shared the most sacred secret. I used to write that love is a game, but looking at Jason and Kylie, I realized love is a foundation. And I finally have found the first bricks to build my own foundation. Dad Ed isn't a star. He doesn't need the spotlight or the cheers of the crowd to feel valued. He's a man of the ordinary, of quiet afternoons spent with a cup of coffee, of everyday stories that, if you don't listen carefully, you'll miss the most valuable lessons. I remember the first day I met him at the stadium. It was a media storm, millions of cameras pointed at us, thousands of headlines ready to grab attention. But amidst that chaos, Dad Ed walked up to me. He didn't look at me as a global phenomenon. He looked at me the way a father sees his daughter walking into his home. A slight nod, a warm smile, and a simple question. Are you hungry? It was that simplicity that melted my heart, accustomed to grand and complicated things. Banges. When you spend your whole life living on tour buses, in luxury hotels, and always surrounded by crews of dozens, you start to lose sight of normalcy. But when I sat next to Ed in the Kelce family kitchen, listening to him tell his life story, about his years of hard work, about how he raised Jason and Travis to be kind-hearted men, I realized I was learning a new lesson. Ed taught me that a man's greatest strength doesn't lie in championship rings or million-dollar contracts, but in his unwavering commitment to the core values of family. There were afternoons when my father, Scott, and Ed would sit on the porch for hours talking about the impossible. They weren't talking about my fame or the pressures Travis was under. They talked about the weather, about old machines, about childhood memories. Looking at them, I saw a strange kind of harmony. It was the bond of fathers who had spent their lives protecting their children from the harsh realities of the world. For me, Ed's presence wasn't just about Travis. It was about me finding a second you home that I didn't even know I was searching for. Okay? He had a very calm outlook on life.
When Taylor Swift sits down for an interview, people expect big headlines, but this time, it felt way more personal. In her recent conversation with the New York Times, she gave fans a rare glimpse into her private life by opening up about her bond with Travis Kelce's family. And honestly, no one saw it coming. Instead of the usual spotlight talk, Taylor shared how being around his family brings her a sense of comfort and normalcy, something she's clearly been craving after years of living under constant attention. She described simple but meaningful moments, laughing together, feeling welcomed, and just existing without pressure, and that instantly hit fans right in the heart. What really has the internet buzzing is the tone of her words. There's a warmth, a sense of belonging, and a calm confidence that feels different from anything she's shared before. Fans are already connecting the dots, wondering if this relationship is heading towards something bigger. Social media has exploded with reactions, theories, and excitement, with people analyzing every little detail she mentioned. And let's be honest, this doesn't feel like just another celebrity update. It feels like a turning point. Taylor, who has always turned her real-life emotions into stories that resonate worldwide, seems to be stepping into a chapter that's more grounded and genuine than ever. Now everyone is asking the same question. What's next? Is this hinting at a deeper commitment, or even future plans that could surprise everyone? While nothing is confirmed, one thing is clear. This interview has taken the conversation around Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce to a whole new level. Fans are more invested than ever, and the excitement isn't slowing down anytime soon.